Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. In the name of Allah, the most compassionate, the most merciful. Following the shooting at the Charlie Hebdo headquarters in Paris and the death of 17 civilians, millions have taken to the streets in a strong stance of support for the right for free speech. The debate surrounding free speech has no doubt reignited following this incident, and many commentators have begun to critique whether freedom of expression should make way for the right to insult and ridicule.
It is reproducing something that is offensive to people in a mainstream major religion, most of whom aren't gunmen who went into Charlie Hebdo, but are people living their lives and entitled to their beliefs.
Freedom of speech, as understood in the past and practiced throughout the world today, has never been the absolute right to express oneself without consideration. There are indeed limitations and guidelines imposed on society that govern the way we express ourselves. It is ironic that Charlie Hebdo itself fired an employee for anti-Semitic publications. Netanyahu, who stood at the forefront of the protest in favor of free speech, has detained numerous Palestinians for publications against the Israeli occupation. Even in France's mass march in favor of freedom of expression, had a woman chose to express herself in a face veil, she would have been prevented by the police. Or had a young man decided to express his faith by praying on the sidewalk, he too would have been prevented by authorities. The examples are endless, all indicating that freedom of expression has never been an absolute right to express oneself without limits. So why is it that some have become more equal than others and are offered selective protection, while the less equal are open to ridicule, mockery, and insult? The philosophies that underlie freedom of speech are meant to ensure government accountability, to foster new ideas, and the pursuit of truth. The freedom to insult and denigrate respected figures stands to serve none of these ideals. Rather, it would only serve to further divide society and instill hatred. Likewise, within Islam, open discussion is encouraged to accommodate the sharing of ideas and the challenging of opinions. However, what is inappropriate and unacceptable is insult and ridicule. The Quran specifically enjoins this by prohibiting the insult of faiths, religions, and sacred symbols. Following this incident, many have also put forth the proposition that somehow all Muslims should be held responsible. Media mogul Rupert Murdoch took to Twitter to vent his thoughts, which were met with considerable backlash. What this fails to take into consideration is that Muslims were in fact not only victims of this incident, but also stood to protect civilians from harm. We've all seen the Muslim man who risked his life at the Paris kosher market to save 7 lives. If Muslims are continuously asked to apologize for the actions of a minority, it only further marginalizes a community already under the spotlight. Why is it that we do not expect the same response when Buddhists commit atrocities in Burma, or Christian gangs in Central Africa, or Zionists in Gaza? Following this incident, we have seen an increase in Islamophobic attacks, including attacks on Muslim women and mosques. To make matters worse, publishers have vowed to release more provocative cartoons. We Muslims need to understand the prophetic way of responding to such circumstances. Our response is not to be reactionary, nor do we in any way advocate anyone to be silent when the Prophet, peace be upon him, is insulted. It is the responsibility of all Muslims to defend the Prophet by learning about his life, his character, and his teachings. We should also engage in intellectual discourse, dispel the misconceptions about the Prophet, peace be upon him, and know that there is no better way to defend him than by embodying his sunnah. The pride and love we have for the Prophet should be manifest in our interactions with those around us and present in the manner that we conduct ourselves. Some of the Prophet's harshest critics became his best of supporters, and even to this day we see this happening again. For instance, Arnoud van Doorn, once a famous filmmaker who ridiculed the Prophet, only recently accepted Islam and visited Medina, the home of the Prophet, peace be upon him, in an expression of newfound love for the Messenger. The scholars say, if they had truly known him, they would love him. We have no doubt that once we teach the world who our Prophet was, they would love him too.